No.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Ike Live. We are here at the unbelievable Classic Expo 2020 Bassmaster Classic. This is the first one in 20 years that I haven't fished. But as a consolation prize, I get to host Ike Live.
Yeah, let's do it.
Which is a good bonus,
That's awesome,
right? I hope everybody's having a good time watching. We've had some really great segments, some great guests over the last few days, and we've got a whole nother day tomorrow, so I want you to keep watching. But a couple guys have strolled in here on us right now, and really great opportunity to talk to some amazing young anglers, changing the game a little bit, doing some stuff different, and it's going to be a good segment. First of all, before we get into who's here, I know you know who's sitting next to me here on my right. The one and only Eric the Intern back with us.
Oh, man.
In the flesh.
So
I
good to
love
see
it.
him.
I made it.
Dude,
I made it.
I said this to you before the camera
Yeah.
came on. I miss you, man.
Genuinely, I miss you.
I miss you, too.
Seriously, like,
Dude, I miss you
This
so
is
much.
This is not fake. This is
No,
real right here.
This is real. We all miss you. Everybody. Ike Live, Bash University, Ike Foundation. We miss you a lot, and it's so good to see you, dude.
but I'm back like I never left.
I love it. Yes.
All smiles.
Eric the Intern back. Here's the thing. You went on to do other stuff.
Yes.
And I've been watching from afar. Dude, you guys are doing some unbelievable stuff.
And I appreciate that.
You're doing some unbelievable stuff. Before we get into that, I want everybody to get to know the room. I'm going to start. Introduce yourself. Tell them who you are and where you're from.
How's it going, everybody? My name's Johnny, and with Eric, I'm one of the co-founders of Uncle Larry Outdoors.
Uncle Larry's Outdoors.
There we
you
go.
have it.
Thank you.
Of course, Eric the Intern. And you know Dave Brodzik down here. Dave, what are
Yeah.
your other nicknames? I can't remember them. Is it
Wharf, Fathead,
Wharf, Stormtrooper,
Best Friend,
Dodo,
Handsome,
Handsome.
Handsome Dave.
Okay. And continuing, sitting on Brian the Carpenter's lap, who do we have?
I'm Scott Ruscio, commonly known as the New Jersey Angler. I do a lot of fishing in New Jersey.
Yes.
Trout especially.
Yes.
A lot of big trout, so.
Scott, good to see you. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but I'm a closet stalker of your
Yeah.
social media account. Did you know
I
that?
appreciate it, yeah. Eric was telling me, actually.
Dude, I stalk you so bad.
Yeah.
It's
Take
unbelievable.
you out for one of those
How
trout
can you
trips.
not?
Whenever you want to go, catch some
Dude,
big trout.
I gotta do it. So,
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. Is this the trout stream guy? Hey, get him back. Is this the trout stream guy? You wouldn't tell me where. You're not even trout fishing. Is he the one whose secrets you were keeping? Is that him?
It probably was.
Secret.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Secrets.
You were in this trout stream, and you're like, "Oh, I can't tell you." I'm
Yeah,
like,
I don't
that-
know what
is
you're
that-
talking about.
Yeah.
You don't,
Oh,
all
That's
right.
gotta be an
Snowboat
off-air
trip.
conversation.
That must have been when we were catching those giant
See,
rainbows in the snow.
I got mad at him, dude, because he knows I'm never going to go there, and he
I mean,
wouldn't,
we
he
can bring you
wouldn't
guys
give
whenever you
you
want
up,
to get on
dude.
Uncle Larry's trip. Let us know.
all right,
Yeah.
so how
No, I'm not going to come. That's what makes it even worse, because I'm not even going to go. I just wanted to know where. I had a
Yeah.
conversation. He's like, I can't
If you
tell
ever
you.
want to come, though, just let
So,
us know.
Alright, thank
We'll be
you.
out
Thank
there.
you.
how weird does it feel to know that grown men,
Yeah.
guys in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, are stalking your social media account?
I mean,
Is
honestly,
that
I
weird?
love it. And I feel like not a lot of people know what's really out there in the streams. So
Yeah.
just like, I mean, we'd love to bring you guys out for a trip and really show you
Yeah.
like what's out there because it's cool.
Yeah.
Like when you go on the adventures that we go on, like the stuff you find out there is absolutely
Yeah.
incredible.
Well, it's unbelievable, and there is a tie. And I don't know if Eric told you this, but all of us, Brian the Carpenter, Dave Brodzik a little less, but me and Brian, very early in our childhood, it wasn't just bass. A lot
Yeah.
of it was trout. A lot of
That's
it was hardcore stream fishing, a spinning rod, a
Yeah.
spinner, a little jerkbait, a night crawler, drifting it, learning the eddies, learning the break.
Yeah.
Dude, that's how we grew up.
Yeah.
And
That's
so,
what it's all about right there.
So when we see what you guys are doing, and we see the results, which are way better than what we ever had.
This is
true.
true. You
This is
wouldn't
true,
even know
yeah.
those fish swam
yeah.
in there, dude.
Yeah, we were fishing cesspools compared to what you guys are fishing,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
very relatable to what we did. And a lot of my childhood, I'd rather trout fish back then than bass fish. So when I see what you guys are doing, dude, it's unbelievable.
It's just the basics, you know. You were describing the basics of
Yes.
why we all got into this sport, and
Yeah.
I'm sitting here right now talking about it.
Yeah.
It's, you know, the thing about me and Johnny is we've known each other since we were 6 years old.
Yeah.
Had
Oh, wow.
a interesting friendship growing up. Not all ups, there were ups and downs.
Yeah.
But what ultimately brought us together more than anything
Yeah.
was fishing.
Fishing, commonality.
Sky. He was watching me on YouTube when he was 11, 12 years old, and I was in high school. We already knew of each other, and now look at us sitting here together. He's 19, I'm 23. We're out here having these adventures, fishing together, just because of our common love for a sport.
It's crazy.
You know,
It's
and I feel
amazing.
like
Wow.
there's like no things out there sports especially where you can meet someone for the first time and in 5 minutes you're homies. Like real homies.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what's cool about fishing, and that's what Uncle Larry Outdoors represents. That's what we're really trying to show through social media and what we're doing.
I love it. I mean, that's something I think everybody watching, if you're a passionate fisherman, you can relate to that. All right, I want to put you on the spot.
Absolutely.
Uncle Larry Outdoors. Uncle Larry's Outdoors. Tell me a little bit about that name.
Sure.
The concept. Where did it come from?
Yeah, so the name actually, so one of the guys who got me into fishing was my great Uncle Larry.
Yeah.
And he was an old Long Island guy, but he's a trout head. And obviously, I don't know if you know anything about Long Island. There's not a lot of trout out there.
Yeah.
So he grew up.
Well, there are, but they're trouser trout.
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
There actually are. There's some sea runs. I don't want to give away too many of my secrets. But this guy got me into fishing when I was really young. And then he passed away when I was in early high school, something like that.
Yeah.
And I went into his basement, and his wife, Phyllis, was like, why don't you just kind of take what you want? And I was like, I don't want to take all their stuff, but I found this really old, like, Fenwick rod. Definitely not Featherwick.
Yeah.
I wish it was a Featherwick rod.
What does Featherwick mean? This might be the meaning of Featherwick.
How long did it take you to go through his stuff? Because this guy sounds like he was inspirational to you.
Yeah, so it took me a while, but a lot of his stuff was fly gear, and we don't do a lot of fly fishing. But I found this one rod that had spinning guides, but a fly fishing reel seat, and I was like, it's kind of interesting. So I took it, had like old rusted out steel guides. But I went fishing with Eric actually, and first trip out, we go out to, not going to tell you where. I'll tell you later. But we go trout fishing in like the middle of February in North Jersey. I'd never done it before. And we're landing like these big rainbows like all over the place. He's got a hand-tied, what was it?
So my dad's friend, when he was a teenager, hand-carved him a trout net and engraved his name on it.
Wow.
So I was like, we got to take this trout net out with that rod, and I want to land a trout with that net.
Yeah.
And we went out there and did that. And it's funny because that was back in 2016 before I started with Like Live.
Yeah.
And I really feel like that trip kind of sparked this
man.
new direction we took fishing in. Because we had always fished growing up together. It was always a common bond. We'd go to ponds. He came on my tracker a lot.
Yep.
Wow, that sounded really weird. But that being said, we never took it to this like sending it out into remote locations, not knowing if there's a fish, just knowing there's a little blue dot on Google Maps that says there's water down there, and most of the times you don't get a bite, but sometimes you do.
Right.
We were never at that level, and I feel like that trip specifically is what started that.
That's cool. I love the fact that early trip, that trip you're talking about, you took in something that was your uncle's, that was a piece of history from you, the reason that you got started. You took a little history from your background. Dude, I think we all have that, right? I think if you're Dave, you've got it. I have it with my grandfather, my pop's box. My uncle Don got me fishing.
Oh yeah, man.
Brian, there's people that had a big influence on our start too, and I love that you guys incorporated that into that.
And that's exactly the meaning behind the name is like Uncle Larry's Outdoors. So for me, that was my guy. That was who got me in. But everybody out there, you don't really, fishing's not something you get into. At least not anyone I know have got into it on their own without somebody introducing them in some
kind
way
of
to
influence.
The sport. Exactly.
Yes.
So everyone's got that like Uncle Larry they can look back onto and be like, all right, that's kind of why I fish.
Yeah.
And kind of, all right, how can I be that person for somebody else?
Yeah.
And that's what we're kind of out there on Instagram trying to do is be like, we live in Jersey. People don't look at it as like a fishing state per se.
Right.
And just kind of like you were an inspiration to a lot of us growing up. Like you can do this. You can come out of the state and make a name for yourself, do cool things. We're doing that in a little bit different way, but that exact kind of mindset going into it.
I love it. So cool. I love the name. Now, talk to me a little bit. I want to jump in. Feel free to jump in here too. The locations you guys are fishing are mind-blowing. And I love that because I'm looking at these pictures and you guys could be in Colorado. You could be in Costa Rica. You could. I mean, these. Brian said not on Costa Rica.
Maybe not Costa Rica.
But the locations are.
They'd absolutely be abducted and sold in traffic.
These guys.
All three, they'd be trafficked in a second down
Good-looking, handsome boys.
Eric would get out of it. They would want
be
to traffic
stolen. They'd be stolen. The location aspect to Uncle Larry's Outdoors, to what you guys are doing, is I really love it. Talk to me a little bit about it. You don't have to say us where the locations, but tell me about the process you guys finding these places. How you doing it? Are they private? Are they public?
Yeah, how much
are they
trespassing are we
something
talking about?
in between?
We're already
Talk a
jumping
little
into
bit about
that.
Let's get into it a little bit.
Yeah.
With the spots we find, a lot of times it's about the exploration. It's really about going out there and not knowing if they're fish or not, like kind of figuring it out yourself. And a lot of spots we fish, like we'll hike like up to like like 4 or 5 miles one way, like into the wilderness, just to see if there are fish. Like a lot of people will stay like around the parking areas and really not explore like what's further out there, especially trout wise. And what we do with that is just find it out as we go. Like a lot of the spots we have no idea if they're fish, and we find those hidden gems that way. And also, like, for example, in the state of New Jersey, a lot of people don't know that they're even wild browns. Like, a lot of people think that it's only state-stocked fish.
Yeah.
And it's, like, a big misconception because, like, they're actually out there. You just have to go and, like, find where they're at. And that's what's so cool about what we do because, like, we're going out into streams that, like, people probably drive by on a daily basis and, like, think, okay, there aren't even fish there.
Yeah.
But, in fact, they're, like, giants.
Wow.
Like, a lot of, like, big trout or even, like, there's a walleye hole, for example, that we fish. It's right off, like, a main road that runs through town. Nobody knows that it even exists. It's in a river.
Wow.
And that's the Jersey mentality because we have so many small public water bodies that are so easily accessible and so many guys fish them that here we are thinking, okay, if we're going to fish from land, we got to really do our very best to go to places that we think no one is going to.
Untouched, untapped.
And that's like
fish that don't normally see lures, don't normally see baits drifting by.
And you know what that leads to? It leads to a lot of skunked days. It leads to a lot of close calls out there. It leads to a lot of stuff that you don't necessarily see on the final product of the Instagram picture.
Yeah.
You know, and that's another thing we're trying to convey with Uncle Larry's is we're not out there slamming them all the time. Like we need to show you that look, you could go out and have 5 of these trips where maybe you get 1 bite a trip.
Right.
But then, guess what? You're going to have that 6th trip
where the glory.
It's going to be the greatest moment of your life.
You find the glory.
It's only that good if you have those 5 previous trips.
Right. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you got
adventure.
Yeah, it's
And
part
I
of the
love that
adventure.
part.
Yeah, I love it too. And Brian, let these young guys know, surrounded by young bucks here, that you guys didn't originate this because me and Dave.
I was going to say this.
We were doing it. Here's the difference. We were doing this back in the 80s. But we didn't have this damn thing right here.
That's fair.
We didn't have Google Earth. So half the times we travel 4 miles, there was nothing in there.
Yeah, we had paper maps.
We had paper maps. We had
But
crap.
Hey,
But I mean, like going way back, I mean that was our best spots. We're all trespassing.
They were all
trespassing.
A lot
The
of them
hell
were
with them
trespassing.
public
A lot of them
spots.
were trespassing.
It took you 10 years to figure out you were holding the map upside down, too.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, let me ask
It's like a
you,
toilet.
Mike or Brian. I was talking to somebody about this. Can you ever remember us, even in August, packing water when we would get dropped
Never.
off by our
Oh,
parents?
no.
Like,
No.
how were we never thirsty or hungry, dude?
No food, no water.
None. I don't know how.
How's that possible?
I don't know.
They didn't even bottle water back then.
No.
I'm sorry to say that
You're right.
the younger generation, at least us, has not improved that. Because
No.
we don't pack water.
No water,
No.
no food.
No.
As long as you have the
Well-
baits and the rod and the tackle. That's the
Well,
most
I
important
mean,
thing.
and
And a payphone close by.
the one thing, the only one that really suffers is Johnny though, because I could survive on like a biscuit that I ate last week.
Yeah,
but,
it's-
you know,
Right.
Johnny needs.
I
to
get
eat food.
hungry,
What's
man.
Johnny
Right.
need? A teeth whitening strip every
Yeah.
hour?
Well, you're a bigger dude too. You need a little more energy. I can see that.
I mean, one time, dude, you told me this is going to be hard.
Well, here's the funny thing. We had with the MTB guys, we had an Abercrombie model. Now I've got 3 of them around me.
Yeah.
This is
Oh, man.
terrible, dude. I feel so ugly right now.
The flannel
This
mafia.
is terrible. I feel
I think
Yeah.
that's, well, Brian needed to get some better looking guys up here. He's like, I don't want to be next to them.
I feel so ugly
Yeah.
right now.
Like,
No, go ahead, Mike.
No,
I could go all day. Go
No,
ahead.
I was going to say,
so
I want to
screwed.
pick up with Brian. I want to pick up
Thinking
where
my
Brian
own
left
grave, man.
off, which is we also did the same thing. Very rudimentary version of it, but we encountered a lot of those experiences where you're in situations where you shouldn't be there. You're not supposed to be
oh,
there.
no, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, you guys encounter this. Tell me a little bit about. Do you have
Yeah.
tactics that you use to counter that? Do you try to run?
Running's a big one.
Running's a big one.
Running's
Okay.
a big one. Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
go-to, baby.
Running away?
Oh, actually, one thing we've gotten really good at is when there's snow. People
Yeah.
don't realize you could slide down a mountain like
Oh.
really quick.
So
Especially if you've got waders on, it's like having like a one-piece suit. And so that thing
Wow.
flies, man.
Oh,
flies.
my God.
And you just kind of reach out with your arms and like grab a tree here and there to slow down.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
why we get a lot of messages. People are like, "Oh, yo, when are you gonna take me on a send? When are we gonna go fishing?" Like, dude, I need to know you for like 3 years before I can take you on one of these things. Because I
Give him
got
like a
Security
Ninja
clearance.
Warrior exam.
I got to know that you're going to be able to A, hike 5 miles to the spot,
Right.
B, hike 5 miles up the river all day, and C, hike 15 miles
Right.
back to the car without dying. Because
Right.
if you keel over on the side of the mountain,
Right.
buddy, I got to make it out too.
All right, there you have it. All the
but-
subs.
But most importantly, not blow up your spots.
Not
as you
blow up the
find
spot.
them.
Oh, that's the most
That's
important
the
thing.
most important.
We will leave you behind,
All right,
man.
so all the
Bury
subs
you.
watching right now, Uncle Larry Outdoor subs that are watching right now, you got to at least be up for 3 years before they'll even consider
Before you audition.
taking you out.
Yeah.
So it's very important criteria.
And I'd also
right
like to
here.
mention that, like you guys were saying, like you went out on these Uncle Larry Outdoors type sends. That's the beauty of Uncle Larry Outdoors because it's really like a community.
Yeah.
And, like we all have done this stuff. We all have that same
yeah.
passion for fishing. That's what's cool about it. Like even though we come from different backgrounds, like we're all part of Uncle Larry's.
Yeah.
That's the cool part. We're not
Yeah.
going out trying to catch the biggest fish out there necessarily.
Yeah.
We're going out there because we love fishing. We love learning like really what's out there. We're not trying to just be given a spot and go there and catch the biggest trout.
Yeah.
We're trying to get out there like in the outdoors, what we love. Like that's our element.
Yeah.
And really just like harness that and just love it every
It is
moment.
awesome.
Yeah,
And it is a lot about the experience. Bri, you said that.
It's
You
the
know,
adventure.
not even the fishing, but what happens before, the planning, the travel to, the after. That's a
Right.
cool
I
part
mean,
of the
They're
experience.
like some young Christopher Columbuses.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
man.
three, and it's,
With done hair.
Yeah.
well, it's 3 times harder to become a Larry Outdoor guy than it's become an Ike Live intern. Ike Live intern, you just show up to work and post something once a week. These guys, you got to prove you can hike and slide and handle your weed. Like these dudes ain't playing around.
a whole
man.
whole different set of criteria.
Especially when you're driving south.
Yeah, a whole different set of criteria. All right. I do want to get back to some of the methods that you use
Yes.
when you're in a situation it's not so good, trespassing or, you get chased by a black bear or whatever. So running is one. Are there others? Because I know we have a few, and I want to hear some other techniques.
I would say
Well,
feather.
you
I
know,
would
you
say-
know what's a good one for me? If I ever encounter the situation, I'm just like, look, man, having a tough time right now. I'm going through a lot in life.
Yeah.
I just wanted to come down here and catch a few fish.
That's good.
Like, what are they gonna do?
Right. So
Come on.
you're trying to give them the puppy eye and the
God.
story.
Like,
to
like,
break
go
them
to
down.
sleep.
because I'm trying to show them, like, look, I'm out here catching, releasing brown
It's just
trout.
fishing.
What are you
yeah.
gonna do to me?
Right. All right.
It's also good that Sky knows every DEC guy in the state.
That helps.
Exactly, that's a great point.
That
also,
definitely helps.
He
I
knows
would
that
say like stealth is a big part of it. Like we're not going out there thinking we're gonna get caught. Like we're making sure we're not getting caught in the
Right.
first place. Like we usually don't encounter these people. Luckily,
Yeah.
And I'd say if we did, a few of the times we might not be here right now. So
but for future like applicants, how important is it to be able to feather your hair? Like, is that a mandatory thing?
oh, it's definitely mandatory.
Like, if
yeah.
you can't
Yeah,
feather
absolutely.
your hair underneath the backwards hat, you got no shot, right?
No shot at all.
What's more important, escape and evasion, or proper feathered hair?
I mean, if you don't have the hair at the end of the day, it's not happening. Like you're not gonna be able to post those photos
Yeah.
on Uncle Larry Outdoors or wherever you're trying to post them. So definitely the hair is
Got
the
it.
priority.
All right.
But if you're getting chased by a bear, you gotta get the hell out of there at some point. So like,
Oh my God!
you might have
part
to
of-
sacrifice a little bit of the hair for that.
Dave, it's part of the Instagram algorithm.
You guys got great hair. I'm gonna
We
say
actually
that.
bought bear mace though the other day. It
Wow.
was like $40 more than we'd ever spend on anything, including
And shout out to
food.
Johnny for that one.
We actually
And
did
the
it.
guy,
I think
Cabela-
that's a good investment.
Yeah,
the
Tennessee.
guy at Cabela's is like, so this $40 one, this is gonna protect you. Then there's this $10 one, which basically will not protect you. And Johnny's like, the $10 one's looking pretty good.
It's just the idea of having it, not that it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, actually, the $10 you just throw the can at them. You don't even spray it. You just chuck the can at
So
the
Yeah.
bear.
you know, the $10 one is like something you find in a woman's purse, and they have it hanging there as Cabela's
Right.
bear mace.
Right.
Like it's
So
gonna
Yeah,
do
we
you
can't
guys
afford to let our
have-
hair get tousled, like he was
Do you
saying.
guys have like a real good like chased off property story?
Oh.
Ryan
Well,
and I have.
I actually
Dave
have a funny. So I have a
couple
funny.
thousand.
I have a funny one. It's not a chased off property story, but it'll show you like how it's. This is a good one. So we leave a spot like this, right? And we're hiking out, and it's getting dark. Like it's going to be dark in 10 minutes, and
Right.
we have an hour of hiking to go through the woods. We come up on this clearing. There is one house on this road. One house, and this is how I know that somehow there's certain forces that are sometimes working in your favor, right? Because if we passed this house and this guy was not standing on our porch, I would not be talking to you right now. We had an hour of hiking through mountainous woods in the pitch black with no headlamps and black bears everywhere, right? But somehow we're walking by, this guy's standing on his porch, yells out at us. We're thinking, oh my God, this is either one of two things. We're either gonna get saved right now or shot. It's literally one of
Saved.
saved.
They
or
both
shot.
start with an S.
Saved.
Hold on, let me
Great
talk to my
shot.
old. Let me talk to my old friends for a second. Don't you miss that?
SRS.
Don't you miss the days when we needed to be saved?
Oh yeah.
Think about that. When was the last time we had to be saved from anything? You get old, you get money, you'll need to be
Yeah.
saved from anything.
I think
you
it
know
was
what I mean?
Stella's back in Vietnam.
All right, but I'm sorry. Go ahead. So you
Swamps,
walk
yeah.
by.
So luckily it was the save one, not the shot one.
Oh,
and
wow.
we get in this guy's truck and he's talking to us. He actually used to be the groundskeeper for the property that we were in,
Wow.
right? And he brings it up with us, and we like stop kind of talking because we're like, oh, like we don't want to say anything. And then he starts laughing. He's like, oh, guys, when I was your age, If there wasn't a private property sign in front of it, it wasn't worth exploring. And this is the guy that used to manage the property.
that.
Wow.
That guy.
Shout out to that guy.
Shout out to Todd.
That guy keeping
Todd.
it real.
Shout out to Todd if you're watching.
Our very own Brian the Carpenter was in a lengthy battle with one of the most powerful families in America, sneaking onto their lakes down in Maryland, the DuPont family,
DuPont.
dude.
Yeah,
They set
Brian
his
with
truck
the
on fire, dude.
Trespassing DuPont.
DuPonts can suck it.
Gas face to the DuPonts. Gas face to the DuPonts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Eric,
they
that's
can suck
something
it.
you're going to have to top Brian with going after one of America's most powerful families, dude.
Well, I did one point try to get the NJ police involved because I said, well, I can access your pond if I do it by canoe. It's boatable. So Eric and I were going to show up at this guy's house. We're going to go in the creek behind. We're going to carry the canoe down and just be paddling around this guy's 1 acre pond over in like Bernards, New Jersey.
Oh my God. Oh
Yeah,
my
we
God.
had amazing fishing for 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
2 or 3 summers,
Yep.
something like that. Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. I mean,
World class.
world class for a little bit, and then it ended in flat tires and tickets and court dates. That's how it ended.
Of course, I was there with Brian.
Not only did he call the game warden out
Yeah.
to write me tickets, he also flattened my tires first.
Yes.
So
And the game warden cops didn't do anything
no,
about
because
the flat
I'm in
tires.
his backyard.
Yeah.
In
and
Maryland.
he's the DuPont
DuPonts.
caretaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can suck
Power
it.
and money rule.
They can suck it.
Brian the Carpenter. I would like to say that I went to that pond with Brian like the 4 or 5 times before that,
Yeah.
and the one time I didn't go is when he got busted. So
Yeah, but how good was it?
it was unbelievable.
Yeah, but
my
shockingly, we had no problems when I went with him, too. It's just when he goes
Yeah.
with, like, other people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, no, it's just accumulative. You know what I mean? You go
Yeah.
to the well too many times,
Yeah.
it's bound to happen.
Well,
Well,
it was
when
the,
you're-
with the white panel van. No one wants a white
That's
panel
right.
van on the
That's
backyard.
right.
You know
Was
what
It
I
that
mean?
was
when
a
you were
little
rocking
creepy.
the white van?
Yeah, it was a little creepy.
And I could slide.
Probably
I
had
could
something to
slide
do with
the-
it.
I could
Yeah,
slide
for
the
sure.
10-foot bass tracker. What was it?
Bass tender, bass tracker,
No, Bass
CC.
Stalker.
Bass stalker. Whatever it was, a little 10-foot plastic boat. I could stand it up on the edge and slide it in the back of the van all the way through the front, shut the van doors. That little trolling motor battery, dude.
That fit
we're
with the
going
5
everywhere.
kids in the back, too, that you were hiding back
Yeah,
there?
3 on each side. 6.
Johnny, everybody. but yeah, man, we can go anywhere with that thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Until you get caught.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
you
the
get
trespassing thing, and I don't. everybody's watching. We've got some young kids watching.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
condone it,
Don't do
but
this.
I'd also say there are worse things you can do in life. If you're gone fishing, if you're being in outdoors, doing something you love, keep doing it. That's
Yes,
the best way
definitely.
to answer that.
Yeah.
Definitely don't get caught.
Yeah, don't
And if
get
you
caught.
do-
Try not to get caught.
We talk about it a lot 'cause it's funny. Not 'cause
Just
we
say
do
I
it
didn't
all
know
the
I
time.
couldn't do that. It works all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
One
is-
of-
no, this is like rap music. It's all exaggerated.
It's all exaggerated,
This is just-
absolutely.
this is for entertainment purposes
That's
only,
right.
and we fish public water.
That's right. I got to tell you, one of our favorite techniques back in the day was if we'd be in a private place, and someone would start yelling at us from far away, you know, and you
Yes.
could, this is private property, get out of here. We'd be like, it's 2:00.
Dude,
Go the other way.
you shout the time back to them, and they get absolutely
one.
confused.
Yeah,
I would
shout
say-
the time back to
And
us.
then they would repeat themselves, double down louder, and you'd respond back louder. And sometimes they would just give up, or
They
they
would-
would, in their robe, get in their car to come drive around and be able
Which
to
one of the
analyze
two?
it
then in
better.
turn gives you enough time to run.
Right, it does.
Wow.
It gives you a buffer.
That's a
right.
system.
So shout the time back to them.
One thing I tried that I found out property owners hate is when you sing "This land is your land." They hate that. Oh my god!
Wow. Damn it, we never used that one.
And it was there the whole time, dude. It was right there the entire time. We didn't get it.
Oh,
Well
man.
done, Johnny.
Unbelievable. All right, I want to hear about, and I want to hear from all of you. We'll
Yeah.
start with you.
Yeah.
Your most epic travel, your most epic experience.
Most epic
in this
experience.
Uncle Larry outdoor travel. Give me your most epic trip.
Honestly, and this one's kind of like a little, it's like we do so much driving, so much crazy stuff. The one that was the most meaningful to me, at least, was the guy, Larry, I was telling you about.
Yeah.
Actually, around this holiday season, his wife, Phyllis, passed away. And I had never really gone trout fishing on Long Island, especially with his gear. So I'm like, all right, I've heard there's like sea-run brown trout
Yeah.
somewhere on Long Island.
Yeah.
I'm just going to like take his stuff, get out there, just like obviously a little bit negative in my house, just like go fishing for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So I just get in the car, I get out there, and I'm hiking around the woods till it's like pitch black in like suburban Nassau County. Like it's just
Yeah.
disgusting. Like we're talking like mud creeks and everything. I'm finding nothing. Wake up the next morning, I'm wading through like every single bay you can think of, catching nothing. And on my way back up, I find this little like tube underneath the highway, and I'm like, screw it. I take like one pitch in there, boom, I pull out like a 12-inch native brook trout, like absolutely untouched water. No one's ever touched it. It's like the only trout in that creek. And it was just the coolest thing ever, like with everything that going on, all the crazy scents we did. And that was the hardest fish for me to find. And then on my way home, I pass over this bridge, and I see it's right where this same creek connects to the ocean. Yeah. So I'm like, all right, maybe there's a sea run there. So I'm fishing there for 2-3 hours, nothing. I'm like, this is stupid. And right when I'm about to leave, this like 4-year-old kid walks by. He's like, oh, what are you doing? And I have this like all on video. It's the trippiest thing. I'm like, oh, I'm fishing right in the middle of, I'm saying I'm fishing, boom, I hook into a sea run brown trout right in the middle of Nassau County, Long Island.
Wow.
It was unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
And of all the crazy trips we've done, that was the one that was the craziest for me because it just seemed like a total dead zone. Yeah. And the one kid that seemed like he needed to see it and I needed that fish that day, it just all happened at the same time.
All happened at the same time. Yeah. Wow, what a cool story.
Well, the Dean hasn't seen Eric as long as we have.
I know. Special appearance by the Dean right here, giving hugs to Eric.
It's amazing, Dean. I'm so happy.
It's great to see you.
I'm going to talk here so you can get in Eric's microphone. I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Closer.
I love your presence on the show because you're the only one that gets all my jokes.
I got you, Pete. See, I've always been in your corner.
Pete, you tell jokes?
See?
I don't even know he told jokes. I thought he was serious all the time.
I thought that was part of your facial tick. I didn't know you were.
I did too. Had no idea they were jokes. It's crazy.
I'm going to leave now.
Okay.
We'll catch up, Pete. We're going to catch up.
Pete made a special appearance just so he could bust his balls.
You know what I love? You know what I love about that? You asked, what's the craziest Uncle Larry sends?
Yeah.
He's talking about 12-inch fish.
It's crazy.
It's not about
it's not necessarily these days when you catch
it.
10-pounders every other cast.
And I'll give you my answer. I got one bite in 3 days on this trip I'm about to tell you about.
Yeah.
The Niagara River. We went up a couple months ago with zero planning. We literally knew, okay, you can catch lake trout and steelhead in the Niagara. Let's go. Yeah. That was it. We went up there as a large group. It was 5 of the Uncle Larry's guys. It was us 3 plus 2 more members, Jake and Sean. Shout out to
what color
them.
were those flannels? Or the other two?
Their hair was good.
No, but I'm wondering, like, you guys just have those flannels in the back of the Jeep? Do you switch up, or do you?
No, I do like it though. Good, Dave. Doesn't it? The feel of this is like the old breakdancing groups where you had all the same sweatsuits, the Beastie Boys, but you had all the same jumpsuits on. They were all certain color. Like they unzipped to a different color. I like it because it's
multi-purpose too. It's like we might ask you who you know here outside a frat party, and then go take you to catch a brown trout. You know what I mean? Like,
sorry, you never know. Yeah, That's what I'm saying. You're prepared.
Go ahead, Niagara.
So we take this Niagara trip up, and man, let me tell you, from a fishing standpoint, it was misery. Right. It was misery for 3 days. Like
Not happening.
The one bite I got was my first ever steelhead. I caught it on the ultralight rod in the Niagara River. So that was cool. But the fishing was non-existent basically. Johnny and Sean, they left with not a bite. They didn't catch a fish in 3 days.
Brutal.
And all that being said, that was one of the most fun trips I can ever remember being a part of, and it had nothing to do with the fishing.
Right.
It had to do
wasn't the fish catch, it was the other
all
stuff.
The camaraderie.
Adventure.
All like, just the adventure. That's as simple as I can put it.
Is it just me, guys, or can these 3 start a podcast and probably be the best damn podcast?
They're better than ours already.
They already have the matching flannels.
Exactly.
Matching haircuts.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like,
you know what I mean?
They got a tackle box full of combs and brushes.
Yeah. We're going to drop to number 87 on the worst podcast list now. This is great. This is awesome. This is perfect. I need to hear an epic story from you, and I know you've got a few. Give me an epic trip that you had.
So if we're talking about the recent years and a trip that I've done with Eric, I'd say probably the most epic trip. He started to mention this a little bit before, like when we were at the end of the trip not knowing if we'd actually make it home alive or not.
Yeah.
We were fishing a river pretty far up north, and we drove my car like up this dirt road like halfway, and we realized we were like, okay, we looked at Google Maps. It seemed like we were like 2 miles from the lake that we were trying to fish. We were trying to fish to the river that goes into the lake. So we realized that we have like 2 miles of like straight hiking through the woods. And it was a great moment to like know that you can't really trust Google Maps at all, because that hike in was at least 5 miles.
Wow.
We got to the spot and we were slaying like huge wild browns and this like some landlocked salmon too that actually ran up from the lake. So it was an incredible bite. We fished all throughout the day just catching these fish. And we really felt good because it was like a big hike in. Like we didn't know that the spot would actually have fish or not. We didn't know what it was going to be like.
Yeah.
So we got there, we fished the entire day all the way until dark. And we look at Google Maps again, and we're trying to like figure out a way back to the car. And we see that we have to hike up this road and then cut through this path in the woods. And it seems like, okay, it's probably about like 3 miles. We didn't realize that it was like 7 p.m. and the sun was setting at 7:30, and it was gonna be dark for the entire rest of that trip. So we hike up that mountain all the way back to like the road they were trying to get to. We get to the road and it's pitch black, and we luckily meet this guy Todd who brought us back to the car. But if it wasn't for him, like we probably wouldn't have made it back.
Yeah.
Like, that trip overall was like literally probably the most insane adventure trip.
I remember that.
recent times.
There's never been a moment on the side of a mountain where I legit felt like, oh, I may just die on the side of this mountain. Like I don't think I can go anymore. Like and we're here talking.
Yeah.
So
there's two things there I think everybody can relate to. One is the unknown, right? And we did a lot of that. A new lake, we've never been to, and it's that unknown. It's the what happens before.
Yes.
And then when it comes together, it's like, there's that part of it.
Anticipation.
And then there's the part of it where you feel like you're the only person alive on the face of the earth. And we've been lucky enough to have a few of those trips in our life too. But Champlain, Alaska, the stuff you guys did down in the Keys.
What these guys are doing out there in the mountains and PA and
very,
New York,
very cool.
wherever they
So
may or may not be.
Yeah.
And that's,
allegedly.
That's the feeling that we're always trying to chase. But I think the thing that people need to realize, like you hear about Alaska and like getting out to the frontier, but I'm living in Brooklyn right now. Yeah. And most of these trips, I'm coming in from Brooklyn in the morning and I'm back at Brooklyn by midnight.
It's crazy.
And we're chasing that feeling of being the only ones alive. And
rad.
we still hit it.
So rad.
And like I'm doing 5-6 hours a day traveling to get on these trips.
Yeah.
But like people think, I'm in Jersey, I can't have that experience. You can. Like trust me,
Yeah,
I'm going further.
You're living in one of the most heavily populated areas in the world.
In the world.
And when I see these pictures, you look like you're the most remote place in the whole planet.
And it's a trippy experience when you start at 7 in the morning and you're sardined on the subway, and then you're out where we are, and you're seeing 8 bald eagles, not another person, and then you get back and you're sardined on the subway, and you got waders on and a rod, and people are like, what the hell is this get up to?
Wow.
But it's fun.
The guy in waders gets more funny looks than
from
the
8 bald eagles to 8 balls, huh?
Yeah. Now, how much of this, like Google Maps, because God forbid, I've never had Google Maps be wrong. How much of the 3-mile difference was on the illegal cigarettes?
I mean, when you look at Google Maps, say it again.
Well, listen.
Let
me tell you, Dave. Let me tell you something.
I said how much.
Dave, here's the other thing. The government alters some of those maps as well.
So you know you're going to trespass, man.
I mean, I could have sworn that map did not exactly show the distance that we had to hike, because I looked at it and it looked like, okay, like, I mean, it'll probably be like a 30-minute hike down to the river. It was not a 30-minute hike.
I'll tell you what.
You can't
vertical
tell
distance.
I'll tell you what. Those illegal cigarettes and a lot of late night scrolling found me a lot of hogs. Yeah, that's all I know.
Hogs. Here's the other thing I want to hit on is, and you guys touch on already a little bit, but so many times in the show, Ike Live, BU, whatever we're doing, we find people that say, I can't do what you're doing because I don't have 50 grand for a bass boat. I don't have 50 grand for a truck. I don't even have 5 grand for a Hobie kayak pedal drive. But you guys are breaking that stereotype. Talk a little bit about that. I want you to talk about that because a lot of people that watch the show don't have the resources. And what you're doing is breaking that stereotype. Talk a little bit about it.
Well, Johnny knows the state of my gear is always in disarray.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple of years ago, I was using a rod that my buddy Tom, who's a garbage man, found for me in the garbage.
Wow.
And I was hiking around.
Trash
picked rod that I was using hiking around the Shenandoah Valley catching fish, having the same experiences that you could have if you went and bought a $300 Loomis and walked out there and did that. You know? And it's like anything else. It's like, how they say with golf, it's not the clubs, it's the player, and it's the same thing.
Right, and you don't need a $50,000 bass boat. You're getting on the subway for crying out loud.
I'm getting on the subway with my uncle's rod from the 50s.
Yeah,
that's awesome, dude.
We'll show up at Merrill, and sometimes we'll put together 20-pound bags on these things.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it really is just about getting out there, and you really don't know what's going to happen. Yep. You don't need the gear. I mean, the gear, it can help in certain situations, but for the most part, there's a range, and as long as it's within that range,
and I love that beauty that all this we can coexist. We can coexist with giant bass boats at the Classic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bank fishing, hiking in, tiny boats like this, kayaks. It's all the same, right?
Yeah.
It's all the same.
That's what I wanted. Go ahead.
So, what was funner, Mike? Because you've experienced everything that we have,
Yeah.
and a whole lot more to the absolute highest pinnacle.
Yeah.
Think about this.
Yeah.
What do you reflect on most and have the fondest memories of from Uncle Don and your grandfather up in the Poconos?
Yep.
To
I mean, I've got great memories across the board, but I think those moments of what you guys are doing when we did that as kids, being in a John boat in the Poconos with my uncle, my grandfather, bank fish. That stuff is the stuff that really sticks in my mind. It's why I started fishing.
Yeah.
And all these years later, it's why I still love it. You know what I mean? You can't. Dude, you could take my bass boat away. They could kick me out of Major League Fishing, which they'll probably do in the next couple tournaments. But you can't take away my love for the sport. And I grab a rod and go trout fishing in the Poconos. I'd be at home.
Right on.
It'd feel good. Yeah.
That's what I'm planning on doing.
That's what
you
I'm
see, this
planning on
boat's not built necessarily for speed, but for comfort,
Right.
right?
Right.
There's that plush marine mat, the
It's very
radio, the
plush.
subwoofer.
It's thick.
I really don't give a shit if I go bass fishing again.
Right.
I'm gonna go out there, lay down,
Lay in the boat.
play some music, and throw a worm or a minnow.
Yeah.
Maybe not even a hook.
Is now a good
Just
time?
take
Beautiful excuse for
Just
not
take a
catching
nap
it.
and look up.
Right.
Mike, is now a good time with Brian and Eric, who was on this boat from the beginning? Is it a
Yeah.
great time to acknowledge this thing finally?
Yeah, let's acknowledge it. Let's acknowledge it because I want to give a round of applause for Glide Boat Build.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Eric, you
he
got
was a big part of this
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Eric, you got to admit, this thing in the beginning. If you snap back to this, it was a disaster. It was a wreck.
You feared for your life.
You feared
It
for your
sunk.
life
It
every
sunk.
time you got in it. There was a lot of people that doubted this project.
Yes.
Dave Brodzik, excuse me.
This guy right there.
A lot of people that doubted this project, but does it feel awesome when because you were a big part of this too, and a lot of even people within the Pro Edge organization said, "This is crap. This ain't going to happen. We don't
Who'd
believe
you
in
just
it."
point to?
I didn't point to anybody.
them
There's a
out.
whole bunch of ladies
Mike,
over there, but I didn't point to anybody.
Ask Eric. What 4 years ago when you stood right there, what could have happened to you?
I could have
Fallen through
fallen
Tetanus.
straight through to the water.
Exactly.
into the live
No,
well.
I could
Out of
have.
the boat.
If this
Tetanus.
was 4 years ago,
Yeah.
I could have just pressed down and been to the hole of the boat.
Yeah.
instantly.
Gangrous, tetanus, and probably through
Yeah.
the floor.
But
that's just to
you
let
know
people
what?
know how
Hey,
bad this thing
hey
was.
man, I'm gonna say something though. That first year when that boat was a wreck, Brian and
We
I
still caught
made
him.
No, we
Still caught him.
caught
Uncle
him.
Larry still caught him.
And then when the boat got renovated, we had a horrible season.
Well, you know. it's-
Yeah.
Horrible season.
Six
Yeah,
one
but it is
Don't
nice
let
to
me
see
break
it
it.
come
Don't
full.
let me break
It
it.
is nice to see it come full circle,
It's
isn't it?
amazing.
Oh, it's
I-
it's better than I could have ever.
It's pretty
pictured.
amazing.
Really, no,
Pretty amazing
and,
build. Yeah.
I'd like to fish with
I'm
Brian on
coming,
it
dude.
now. You know,
I'm coming north.
I'm ready.
I'm going to raid the north.
Yeah, he might
From
move.
that
He might
privileged
move
north.
north permanently.
We've seen some guys from down south come up to our spots north. We get out, man. We go. We run so fast.
We seen Valdez in his powder blue, whatever that is,
no.
rolling through
I saw that.
Schwartzwood.
no.
Hey, he's looking for the ramp. I'm like, yo, Eric, we gotta get down.
There
Run.
goes the neighborhood.
Run as fast as you
Yeah,
can.
have you ever seen Valdez in person?
I've met actually funny story. When I met Valdez, Brian sent me to go pick up a pizza at that guy's shop.
And a Stromboli.
And I got like all my fishing gear with me or whatever. He's like, "Oh, are you fishing today?" And I'm like, "I don't know who this guy is, so I'm on lockdown mode. Like, I'm not giving my spots." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, where are you at, man? Were you fishing with Eric? Like, he knows all the good spots." I'm like, "Yeah, you know, like some local places." He's like, "Are you fishing that quarry down there in South Jersey?" Like, "What quarry? What
Quarry?
No, man.
What's
No,
up?
no. I don't know who you are.
Quarry.
Get out of there."
What's a quarry?
And then I'm like, "Oh, dude, the guy, he's asking me about our spots. He's asking me to know you. Who the hell is this guy?" Eric's like, "Oh, that's Valdez. We've known him forever."
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's his spot.
And then
too.
what did Brian do? At the
Oh
end?
my God! So yeah, so Brian tells me he's gonna pay for the pizza. Of course, the guy doesn't give me any money.
Shocker. That's a
we're-
shock right
Brian's
there.
not cheap.
Where-
I
No, he's not. He's
Brian
not.
spends
Hang on.
money.
He's not. So
right.
I'm sleeping on the couch at Eric's, which is already. I can't sleep already because there's like no actual cushions,
Yeah.
just kind of on the springs.
I think, yeah.
And
oof.
And the bed bugs.
I don't
Don't
mean
forget about the bed
to
bugs.
trash your house, but that thing's haunted, man. There's a ghost in there, so
Oh,
I'm
I
up
know.
all night.
Go ahead.
And all of a sudden, like 2 in the morning, I just hear exit light, and the door opened. I'm like, oh my God! I'm like screaming. I'm like, got like a baseball bat, man. And then I walk over there. I see Stockel walking across the street. There's a $20 bill on the ground, and like ants crawling all over it. Like this guy's rocking.
I just pictured that.
I don't remember it, but I love it.
amazing. That is amazing.
Like rocking Marilyn
Oh
Manson
my
at full
God.
blast.
That
in
was
his
that was
kitchen.
Metallica.
It was Metallica, whatever, man.
Well, hold on. Did you actually see a ghost in his house?
I've heard it. I haven't seen it though.
Oh,
but it's
man.
there, man.
Oh,
It's
wow.
there.
Eric
Shout out to
lived that.
Janet. Shout out to Janet. I miss you.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Wow, it's a crazy story. Let me remind everybody, you're watching Ike Live. We're here in 2020 Bassmaster Classic, and we're at the Uncle Larry Outdoors, guys. Guys, I want you to give a shameless plug right now, because there are people watching that are older guys that don't really get it and they don't know YouTube. How can they find what you're doing? How can they follow your escapades? Because this is awesome stuff.
Real simple. You search Uncle Larry Outdoors on Instagram and YouTube, and you'll find us.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh,
Uncle
wow.
Larry Outdoors.
Yeah, that's super easy.
Real simple.
Oh, man, I can't wait, dude. How many episodes have you guys done?
We got. I
You
think
ain't
we got
seen 'em
10
yet,
videos
Dave?
up now.
10
I think
videos.
9 or 10.
It's
And-
Eric's old channel. Dude,
Yeah.
the content's dynamite.
Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, it's
We've been-
fantastic.
Start at the very bottom. Go to when Eric was like 8 years old, at the very bottom, video 1,
Please
and
don't
work
go
your
there.
way
You
up through
talking
the
about
years.
the billboard picture of eating a cheeseburger on the turnpike? Have your buddies seen that yet?
No.
Have you seen the
You
picture
haven't?
of him?
Oh, the NJ State Fair,
Yes.
man.
He
Yeah,
had
you're
a,
doing
he had
the
a
tomato
billboard
toss
picture
and
on
all.
the turnpike.
Eric's
He-
famous.
like his little tiny, it looks just like his little face. He's eating like this burger, like half his face, dude.
It was so big,
No
he hasn't
way.
eaten since.
It's my when he calls me, that's what shows up.
So true.
Johnny Fogel, everyone.
Johnny
Childhood friend.
Oh
one
my
other
God.
thing, though, for people who are watching, just to point out, we also want it to be like a very collaborative
Yes.
community thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're doing a lot of fishing ourselves. A lot of the content is us. But the goal of the page is really to make it like a member thing, like anyone could submit.
Right,
So we
as long
do-
as you're 26 and you wear a flannel and you have your hair done.
Right.
Yeah.
You're over 26,
Exactly.
you're not cool, no Uncle
No
Larry.
public
no
water,
shout-outs.
nothing.
Unless it's Sarah the closer, then she's your, yeah. Oh,
What up, Sarah?
never mind.
Yeah, that's big competition here for that. But we actually will post like the member submitted videos, so people have good raw footage
That's
or something
cool.
they've done.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Eric will edit it, and we'll put it up for them too.
That's
so
very cool.
yeah, 'cause we got like a decent platform, trying to get bigger, but still, a lot of people would do a lot for 8,000, 9,000 subscribers on
Yeah.
YouTube. We want to get it out in front of people too.
That's
so
cool.
You
I
can,
like that.
You can expect to see anything from a solo video where it's just me filming, Johnny, Sky. You're going to see videos where it's the group of us together doing something, and you're going to see videos of people you never heard of before. And that's the point of this. We think there's so many cool individuals out there who all have, unique ways that they fish, unique bites that they get on. And they're not necessarily going to be exposed to anyone because they don't got the 100,000 subscriber YouTube channel. So we want to give those people a voice. And that's another thing that we're going to do with the podcast, too, is I want to get people on that you've never heard of before.
But beyond that, the three of you guys, why not just do the podcast remote? Don't have to be live. Campfire, tailgate. Three of you guys got chemistry. I see something, man.
Yeah.
I see something
Yeah.
good, man. It's going to
Come
be
right
good. What's the matter, Ish?
We've got a very special guest that just popped in. Ish Monroe, everybody.
Monroe.
Special appearance.
this is crazy.
I
man.
see- I
I've been
noticed-
watching you guys fish since you were 6.
I noticed Ish has a Founders in his hand. Shout out to Founders Beer, providing the beer for us. Ish, how'd today go? Everything good?
Yeah.
Went good?
I had 32 pounds.
32 pounds today at the Classic.
Whoa.
Ish
Yes,
Monroe.
Monroe,
There
congratulations.
you go. He's not even fishing, and he caught 32
Caught
pounds.
Eric's body weight. That's crazy.
Look at this. We've got another special guest joining us right
Chris
here.
Grow.
Chris!
Yeah.
Chris Grow.
Now, guys,
Pop in real quick for
does
us.
Chris Grows hair pack the gear for your club?
Oh yeah, 100%.
How much did you have
I
today,
went
Chris?
negative today. I threw this custom Berkeley bait at
Wow.
this morning.
No bites on that.
No bites and no hooks on it.
Wow. No, well, that's the reason.
Yeah, but the color scheme, all the markers are
The
out.
pink.
Kids just-
Eric, you see the pink in there? That's your
Dude,
color, bro.
You
I didn't
know.
know he was still alive.
Yeah.
Hey,
here.
throw him in Aquarius. I like
Chris
that.
said he didn't know Eric was still alive.
That's good, that's good.
His
My
place
buddy,
is so
Chris.
remote. He didn't even know he was still alive. It's crazy. It's good to see you, Chris. Good to
Catch
see
up
you.
later, Chris.
Sorry,
Good to
buddy.
see you. I like it. I like that you guys are creating a community. I like that you're doing content that's unique. I'm a little sick of the normal content. When I watch what you guys are doing, it's very unique.
Thank you.
I love it. It makes
Thank
me
you,
feel
man.
like a kid again when I watch it, and I love that.
It's
That's
what we
all. I
would
love
have done
about
at
it.
that age. That's
Oh,
why
yeah.
I want these guys to do this.
Yeah,
man.
they didn't.
Oh my God, dude.
The highest technology when we were doing what you're doing was a Polaroid camera.
That's right.
And we actually brought Polaroid cameras with us. So
Right, and that was the kiss of death.
yeah, that was
Whenever you brought the camera with
Yeah,
the scale,
you'd catch crap.
you ain't catch
That's,
shit.
that hasn't changed.
No,
that
that's
hasn't
the
changed.
same.
In case no one heard,
No,
Brian,
it's not the
or
same.
scale.
You got an
Or
iPhone in
scale.
your pocket
Yeah.
every time you go.
Yeah.
Maybe the scales change.
Well, no, it's when you.
Nah,
when
But you have to
it's-
go out of
scale.
your way to bring a camera.
If your GoPro is filming for 9 hours,
Oh, you ain't
9
catching-
straight hours.
I see you.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the second that last battery dies, and you're like, I'll get it in 10 minutes.
Boom.
You're catching
There it
me,
goes.
pounder. I'm
There
just
it
letting
goes.
you know.
Tough back.
Yeah.
One
Don't
thing I
let-
think could be a career changer
Precisely.
too, if you know how to hold a fish with the camera these days.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man, you could look like a pro. This kid, I'll catch trout twice the size of the trout Sky's catching, and I'll hold it up, and it's like, oh, nice, that's a 9-inch.
I can relate
native.
to that. I can relate to that.
This kid
I'm
holds
pretty
it up,
good at it too.
Just does the little.
I would definitely like
dangle.
to debate that one, but yeah, Johnny catches some giants. I do have the trout hold. I've been trying to get Eric and Johnny on board with that one.
The
There's
trout
a special
hold.
way you can hold them, makes them look
Sky's-
just a little bit bigger.
Super long,
pimp
endless
my trout.
Don't
the
change
endless
much,
trout.
guys. Don't let us shame you out of the flannels. Keep wearing
Yeah.
your Elton John
Keep doing what you're
sunglasses,
doing.
and let's get
Elton
after it,
John.
all
Keep
right?
Man, this is State Farm approved.
State Farm. Is that Jake from State Farm?
I
Jake
filled
from
out a
State
survey
Farm.
for this.
Wow, that's awesome.
Good comeback. Thanks.
Man, I love it. I love what you guys are doing. All right,
Hilarious.
before I let you guys go, one last thing. What's next? Is there anything, new adventure, a new thing you have on the horizon besides the podcast?
Well,
Podcast sounds awesome,
yeah.
but new adventure you have on the
Well,
horizon?
new adventure. So part of the reason we're down here, obviously, is to be a part of this amazing experience. But Johnny, luckily, took a week off of work. So
Wow.
for the remainder of this trip,
Yeah.
we are going to be doing exactly what we just described to you. Google Maps, not a clue.
Here.
In Tennessee,
Tennessee,
Virginia,
Alabama, Virginia. You're
Smoky
working your way
Mountains.
back up.
Yes, we
All the way
Wow.
are.
up
The next
for
week.
5-6 days. Just
That's
going all the
awesome.
way up.
That's awesome.
That's great. Good luck not getting fired, John.
We're
And what are you guys trying to catch in? What are you trying to catch in Alabama? Some stray teeth? What are you looking for?
The only piece of advice I can give you is, in your adventures on the way back home, when you hear near, 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 just hit the road. Just start booking as fast.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
old Deliverance
Yo,
banjo.
Yankees-
That kid turned out pretty good.
Yeah, you Yankees best run, dude. They don't like you.
Run, run, run. Well, dude, I can't thank you enough. Eric, dude, it was so good seeing you.
Yeah, brother.
Mike,
Likewise.
So
Yeah,
good seeing
thank you,
you.
brother.
Dude,
Oh,
great
man,
seeing
bro.
you in
Nice meeting
person.
you.
I'm going to keep stalking you.
Miss you, bro.
100%.
I'm
Yeah,
going
we'll
to keep
get on a
stalking
trip
you.
pretty soon.
I'd love to get out with you guys.
Yes, we're
And
doing it
here's the
2020.
thing. Brian and Dave will burn your spot. I won't.
All right.
Oh, no,
I
no,
will.
no, no,
I
hold
won't.
on.
I won't
Dave
burn
will
it.
never show up. I will
Dave
burn
won't
it.
show up.
You will burn it.
No, I
you
won't
will
burn
fry
it.
You,
No.
have, you got the
Don't
platform.
listen to him.
You're only burning us
No,
if you're
I
in
ain't burning it.
How
tournament.
dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare you?
You got to end it with sir. How dare you, sir?
How dare you, sir? Fine, sir. How dare you?
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. I want to thank everybody for watching.
Hold on, we're gonna bring Kyler in and smoke him for a
all right.
second.
Oh, we got more.
They're shutting,
Yeah.
they're shutting
Okay.
their shit down at 6
Well,
o'clock.
2 minutes?
All right.
All right.
Guys,
We're not shutting down yet. We
All
got
right,
2
let's
more
hot seat
minutes.
it then.
All right, let's
Eric,
hot seat
no,
it.
you stay,
All right, guys, thank you.
Yeah, you
Thanks.
stay where you're at, John.
Okay. All right, we've got
Kyler, come on in here, buddy.
We've got
Yeah,
a
John,
very,
you-
very special
You stay
guest.
right on
You
point.
stay right there, John.
All right. And
Oh, yeah, you're in.
Here you go,
And
buddy.
if you're a fan of Ike Live, you know that often we save the very best content and the very best guests
And the best
for the
haircut.
very end and the best haircut. How you doing? It's good to have you on the show.
Hey, Mike.
First thing, introduce yourself, name, where you're from.
I'm Kyler Shelmanek. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Wow, good to
Bros.
meet you. Glad you're.
like it.
Now, why are you here at the Bassmaster Classic this week? Are you a fan? Are you working, or what are you doing this
I
week?
thought this was a construction convention.
It's a construction convention.
I
There
guess I
was
got
there
lost.
was other stuff going on at the Sheraton. I saw other conventions going on. Oh, I don't know. Oh, a singing
singing.
convention going on. All right, so dude, it's great to meet you.
Yeah,
so I got to tell you, this I'm looking at you right now, but I've seen you at other points during this show, and the first thing that came to my mind is you have the best hair, facial hair, even your skin looks smooth. Seth Fighter was always my idol when it came
Okay.
to hair and facial hair and his skin and everything. I think you've won up Seth Fighter.
I can't
It's
accept
unbelievable.
That. I can't accept
He's humble.
And look,
Humble
we
in
have a
his
random
award.
person just walking past, and look at how they're drawn to you. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable.
It's like a raccoon.
No, I love it. I love it.
It is
I love
amazing.
it, dude. I honestly, I love it. I love it. You're
Oh, we're
whoop.
kicked out.
You're confident.
Yeah.
You're proud.
here.
It's great. I love it.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it,
Have
Kyler.
other people made the Seth Fighter analogy as well, or is this the first time you're hearing it?
Well, it's interesting you make that analogy because this past summer, Seth and his partners with Omnia Fishing and Bass Utopia had a contest.
Yeah.
A hair contest.
Yeah.
And they chose me as the winner of that contest.
Wow!
Yeah,
There
no
you have
shocker. Look at that, dude.
it. Man,
So
clear
the-
winner.
The official title is they picked the 2019 USA All Bass Hair Team.
Wow.
They chose me to be the captain.
Congratulations. There you have it.
We have a winner.
2019 All
Dude,
Bass Hair
it
Team.
is so glorious. It looks like Fabio and Melissa Etheridge had a child. It's outstanding, man.
Wow.
Melissa Etheridge.
Fabio. Wow. Flavio and Etheridge together. Man,
Now,
that's
John,
unbelievable.
does his hair pack the gear?
Pat Renwick, man, it's a pleasure to meet you. You're looking great these days.
Pat's his great uncle. I don't know if you knew that.
Protege.
All right, so real quick, we've got people watching right now. Of course, they're jealous and they're envious of what they've got here. Do you have any tip? You want to give them tips on product, hair product care, the height? Give them some tips on it.
Take care of yourself first. It's all about nutrition, actually.
Nutrition, okay.
People want to start with the box office.
Right.
And go straight to the shampoo aisle. No.
Right. No.
No, you want to focus on your body first.
Okay.
Because that's what feeds your hair.
Gotcha.
All the natural oils.
That makes sense.
Everything that goes in your body affects your hair.
Right. So we talking a vitamin measurement? Because there are vitamins that's supposed to help hair follicles and all that. We talking vitamin regimen?
We're talking the pyramid. The pyramid you learn in grade school.
Okay.
You have grains, meat, dairy, fruit.
Grains, meat, dairy, fruit. I like it. Was fish in there somewhere? I don't know if fish is in there or not.
Anyway, you want to analyze that triangle and figure out how you
Cookies.
how you can make your proportions be healthy.
Yeah.
A lot of eggs, the egg whites.
Yeah.
Help with the natural oils in your hair. A lot of granola, yogurt.
I've heard that. I've heard stories.
Yeah.
Now, is this rumor true? And I've actually heard this, and Brian remembers
Don't
this.
do it.
Because here's the other thing, too. As young men, all of us, Brian, Dave, and I, all had, not as glorious, but we did have very similar characteristics.
We had mullets.
As young men. We did, as young men. But one of the things I remember is they would always say, don't shower. Showering was bad. Let that natural oil. Do you believe in that as well?
100%.
You do? Okay, there you go. No shower. Everybody watching?
100%.
No showering if you want glorious hair like this. That's awesome.
Well, yeah, because here's the thing. Every time you shower, you want to use shampoo.
Right.
And what the shampoo does is it dries out your hair because
Right.
it wants to clean all that nasty bacteria
Right.
out. So the shampoo actually removes a lot of that natural goodness
Yep.
from your head.
Right.
And so
if you do shower.
If you do shower every day, like if you have a tough job, you're sweating every day, you're gross.
Right.
You just have a stink.
Right.
You want to shower.
Right.
You either...
Wow.
23 pounds, 8 ounces. You either don't want to use product in your hair,
Right.
body wash, or condition every day.
Okay.
If you're showering every day.
That's
Otherwise, if you don't stink, you don't need to shower.
Yeah.
In closing, how many times are you stopped a day outside of this environment?
Yeah.
Ironically, not nearly.
What was it common? Where do you live? Wisconsin?
I'm from Wisconsin. I go to school in Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
So I'm finishing up my MBA in Tennessee, and then I'll be moving back to Wisconsin
And
eventually.
no one pulls you aside and says, dude.
I think I've just been in the area so long, it's just like,
Yeah.
oh,
The
here's
area.
Well,
the homeless guy again
Yeah.
coming in for lug nuts and bolts.
Right. Well, I was going to say, lug nuts and bolts. I was going to say the benefits of having that look. There's so many. It's got to be like how many beers are bought for you at bars? It's got to be endless.
You're not doing it right if there's not,
Dude,
dude.
I mean, how many times you walk in a bar and people
I
buy
bought
you
you
beers?
two since you've been here.
It's crazy.
Hunter's
got great hair too, but
great hair.
not as good as yours.
Last weekend I was in Nashville, and hanging out with friends. We went to Broadway. We heard about this bar called Paradise Park.
Okay.
Oh boy.
They have it's a really grimy bar, but anyway, they have a mullet.
You said, "Oh boy."
I thought I didn't know where we were going.
They have a mullet wall of fame.
Yeah.
That's what drew us
Wow.
to this place. And I mean, they have these 8.5 by 11 just dollar store frames of celebrities on
Yeah.
the mullet wall of fame. And I was invited to. I got the owner's email, and he wants to put me on the.
Well, no
Wow!
doubt. Jeez, my God,
Congratulations on the wall of
Amazing.
fame.
So
That's unbelievable.
Back to
yeah,
back.
when-
Back to back.
When I go to places like that, like Nashville, and places outside of where
Outside
I
of your little community,
Yeah,
then
it-
people are more in
it-
awe and
it reminds me, wow, I have this weird thing on my head.
yeah, it's awesome.
When I
I
first
love
moved
it, bro.
to New
Yeah.
York, I lived in Hell's Kitchen, and my hair's not as good as yours, but I still had a ton of guys buying me drinks there. And I thought, wow, everyone here is so nice. It took me a while to figure out what was going on, but dude, you got a lot of free drinks in New York, dude. You got a lot of free drinks in your hair.
Yeah. Why is no one shake my hands?
Why did the men's bathroom all of a sudden get crowded when I had to go pee?
That's awesome,
Very
man.
strange. I don't understand it. Well, dude, it's so good to have you on the show.
I'm really honored to meet you guys.
Yeah, it's great to meet you, too.
Watch the show.
Wish you a lot of
Huge fan.
success in your future endeavors, and please, man, keep that look because
Thank you.
I love it. I'm
Thank
enthralled
you.
with it. I can't stop
Stay
looking
with
at
it. Don't
you.
mull it over.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, don't some broad change it for you.
Don't let it. That could happen.
absolutely.
That could happen. Like, look at Kate. She changed her husband Mike all over the place. Mike used to have locks just like that. Look at him now. He's shaved all
He
over
looked
the
like
place.
the drummer from Bon Jovi. Now,
Yeah.
now he looks like a
The drummer from Def Leppard.
Yeah.
One arm.
The one arm. You cut his arm off?
Hey, she's a
horrible.
tough chick. I don't know. I don't
She
know
may
what
have
happened.
cut his arm off. That's terrible.
All right.
Want to thank everybody for watching. We're at the 2020 Bassmaster Classic. Of course, the Mystery Tackle Box guys were on earlier today. Uncle Larry Outdoors guys were here. And the best looking hair in all the world right here. Thank you.
Hold on. Oh, you
Wait
about
a
to
minute.
get
I got a stare down.
hair down.
Hunter Freeman joins us here on the show. I would
Bronx,
say,
give him a
Yeah.
that's it.
Now here you go.
yeah, I would say this is a really good one or two right here. I almost interchangeable. But this is another one I've got to get.
Did anyone get that?
Guys, well, hold on. Guys, give me a picture real quick. Real quick, just a picture. Okay. And then I do want to get the video real quick here. And we will do a, let's see. I can't do a slow-mo that way. We'll do it this way. Okay, you ready? Here we go, a little slow-mo. Can I get both of you to do the hair thing? Just on the count of 3, just give me a hair shake back and forth. And for about maybe 10 seconds. On the count of 3. 1, 2, go ahead. Wow! There you have it.
There you go.
Absolutely the two best hairdos in all the show here. Obviously, Kurt, you got to admit, this is good. I'm losing hair on it. I barely have any more hair. I'm very jealous of this, man. I wish I could go back in time. It's unbelievable. Hunter, thanks for joining us real quick.
Thank you for having me.
This is
I walked
unbelievable.
over.
Hunter Freeman, everybody. This is unbelievable. Another guest appearance. Dude, every time we try to cut the show off, a better guest joins the show. Bro, we might be here all night. I like this.
Uh-oh. Whoop, whoop.
The police. All right, but Hunter, I want to corner you for a second, dude. Unbelievable start to this season.
Thank you, ma'am.
Coming off 2 good tournaments, of
Yep.
course, on Harris Chain
Yep.
a few weeks ago. A second place finish, that close
Third
to a
place.
win.
Third
Place
place.
finish,
Third
that
place.
close to a win.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about it. It's got to feel good.
It did feel good, man, but you know, I'm happy to have it, everything else. I drove home from that tournament thinking that I had a spot, that it had the chance. You don't get a chance to win events like that,
Yeah.
and I think that spot had potential. I think I managed it wrong, but I learned from it. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I left those fish biting the second day, and I weighed in 2 dinks. And
Yeah.
if everybody asked me if I'd go back and fish a tournament, what's the one thing I would have done?
Yeah.
I mean, I had 26 pounds with 2 2-pounders. I mean,
Wow.
it was, you know,
That's
and I left
insane.
them biting. I told my guys, I said, we're out, we're gone.
Yeah.
And if I could go back, and what's bad is, I mean, I'd get 2 more bites, and everybody said, well, you don't know. I said, dude, they were giants.
Yeah.
It was insane. If
Yeah.
you got a bite, it was a 6+ pounder.
It was big. It was a giant.
It was a giant. I mean, it was a monster.
And I like that. And what I've seen in your success this year, in 2 tournaments in, I've watched it from afar. You're fishing your strengths.
Yeah.
When you getting around your strengths and you're fishing
yeah.
comfortable, I see you excel. I can watch you. I watch you on live. I can see it in your
I mean,
eyes.
I can't catch a bunch of fish, but I can catch a billion in a
Yeah.
heartbeat.
So you would
I
suck
mean,
at MLF.
Absolutely. I mean, they got the Heavy Hitters Award. I would be like a drop kick missile coming, and that's it.
All right, I need to know this because there's a lot of young aspiring anglers watching right now that are up and coming. Difference between last season and this season. I see a different Hunter Freeman this season than I did
Right.
last year. What did you learn? What did you change this year?
Man, I had some bad habits. I did, you know, and I mean, it was nothing bad. It was just the way I was approaching tournaments. It was stuff. The best way to word it, it was stuff that I was getting by with in college. You know, I had my
Yeah.
styles of running, gunning, smash mouth fishing,
Yeah.
and smash mouth fishing. The only bad thing about it, when you fall flat on your face, you look like an idiot.
Right.
And,
Right. Fall hard.
Look
Yeah.
at the end of my season last year, and it's a telltale story.
Yeah.
And I came home, you know, deer season came around, and I stopped fishing. Somebody would text me about fishing, and like, if it wasn't a sponsor, I was like, I don't want to hear it. I
Yeah.
mean, I was going deer hunting
Yeah.
and was worried about killing a deer, and it, I came back and I approached it different. I said, who cares if you catch 30 pounds? Let's just go catch some fish, see what they weigh. We're approaching it that way this year, and it's working out pretty well.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing was, I slowed down and gained some patience.
Yeah.
Last year I was running and gunning, and it works sometimes. It works great. But when it doesn't work and you can't slow down, it just kind of you can get burnt.
Yeah.
And, I was black toasted at the end of the year. So,
yeah. Well, I think what you're doing is this season. I can see it. I've been in this a long time, and I can almost watch it and read somebody, and you're fishing with confidence.
Right.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
I think you're going to have a lot of success.
Thank
And, guys, don't touch your hair or your facial hair. I'm telling you. Dude, it's power. Brian the Carpenter. Isn't hair power?
Yeah,
this
Samson.
is power.
Samson.
Samson.
I would
Bunch
not,
of
I would
Samsons
not
up
touch
there.
it. I'd even be scared to brush it. You know what I mean? I'd be scared to brush it because you'd pull one of those hairs out. I
Luxurious
wouldn't even
locks.
brush it.
It gets everywhere.
It's everywhere. It gets everywhere.
Wrap it up.
Okay, finally, we're going to wrap it up. There you have it. I want to thank you for tuning in. Bassmaster Classic 2020 Ike Live. Hang in there. We got another day tomorrow. We're going to have some great interviews, Brian the Carpenter. And guess what? We're going to crown a champion. We're going to have a new Bassmaster Classic champion and maybe even get him on the show. What are the odds we can get him on the show, Brian?
None.
Slim and none. There you have it. Thanks, everybody, for joining Ike Live. Thank you, guys. None.